Welcome to the December work module for Empowering Social Studies Teachers for Smarter Balanced Assessment. Our objectives for this month have changed a little bit from our initial description because of the delay in the new College, Career, and Civic Life Framework for Inquiry in Social Studies State Standards. While the delay is a temporary one, it did set us back a little ways. However, it has also been brought to the facilitator's attention that you guys could use a little bit of catch-up time. So we've changed December's objectives to be as follows. First, you guys are going to have a chance to review the vision document for the new C3 framework if you have not already. You will post one response to Edmodo regarding your first thoughts on the C3 standards. And you will use the rest of December as catch-up time to complete any work you may have missed in October or November. So, here's a quick overview on the College, Career, and Civic Life Framework for Inquiry in Social Studies State Standards. First of all, it should be noted that the Council of Chief State School Officers, also known as CCSSO, and the organization that brought us the Common Core State Standards, has signed off on the new framework for inquiry in social studies, which means the same organization that was responsible for the Common Core is now putting its stamp of approval on the social studies standards. This is actually some pretty good news. But what these ended up being are guidance for states to use in enhancing their standards. So we already have grade level and high school content expectations, and those are going to remain, but this becomes a lens through which you study them, as you will hopefully see in the very near future. So by way of introduction, their goal is to prepare young people for effective and successful participation in college, career, and civic life. They're aimed at college and career readiness, and they were broken up into 4 different dimensions. The first dimension is developing questions and planning investigations. The second dimension is applying disciplinary concepts and tools. The third dimension is gathering, evaluating, and using evidence. And the fourth dimension is working collaboratively and communicating conclusions, which then leads you right back to dimension 1. So a very, very brief overview of these follows this particular slide, and you will have the opportunity to learn a little bit more about them by studying the vision document this month. So let's take a look at those 4 dimensions. The first one is developing questions and planning investigations, and CCSSO and the SASE group, which wrote these, has this to say about it. Students will develop questions as they investigate societal issues, trends, and events. 2 types of questions emerge from this. The first, 2 types of questions emerge from this. The first is a compelling question, and the second is a supporting question. A compelling question is set up to be suggestive, provocative, and worth further exploration. These will cycle through the 4 major disciplines within social studies: economics, history, geography, and civics. A supporting question is discipline specific, and it's intended to contribute knowledge to that overall compelling question. The idea here is that Dimension 1 provides a framework for students to develop thoughtful questions and carefully plan investigations. The second dimension is applying disciplinary concepts and tools. The organization has this to say about them, that students will analyze societal issues, trends, and events by applying concepts and tools from civics, economics, geography, and history. Dimension 2 is about the disciplinary concepts and tools that you need to understand and apply the content that you are already teaching through our grade level or high school content expectations. And this is where you see some things that are specific to civics, economics, geography, and history. The third dimension is gathering, evaluating, and using evidence. So as far as this goes, if you have a question, which you study in Dimension 1, and in Question 2, you start to find your sources. In Dimension 3, you start to evaluate and analyze those sources. So emphasis here is on textual evidence, and it overlaps strongly with the Common Core State Standards. Students will work toward conclusions about societal issues, trends, and events by collecting evidence and evaluating its usefulness in developing causal explanations. Finally, the fourth dimension, working collaboratively and communicating conclusions. With the fourth dimension, students will draw on knowledge and skills to work individually and collaboratively to conclude their investigations into, you guessed it, societal issues, trends, and events. Dimension 4 also overlaps strongly with the Common Core state standards. So if these are your 4 dimensions for studying social studies, I'd like to draw your attention to one quote right out of the document. Active and responsible citizens identify and analyze public problems, deliberate with other people about how to define and address issues, take constructive, collaborative action, reflect on their actions, create and sustain groups, and influence institutions both large and small. And these are really the principles that guide the new college, career, and civic life framework. You'll get a chance to read more about them in the vision document and have a discussion over the month of December with the other participants in empowering social studies teachers for smarter balanced assessment. So, in this very short module, we've covered the vision document for the C3 framework. You've completed December's work, and you will now have the opportunity to have some thoughtful discussion with the other participants online and in Modo. Remember to record 2 hours on your SBCEU log sheet, and next month we're going to dig in a little bit deeper with big ideas in anticipation of when you will see these new standards, which will be coming soon. Thank you very much, and happy holidays, everybody.